Hey everyone, glad you found your way here to the little planet. I thought it's about time that I show you some of my art. And the beginning makes today my thread art. That's why I call this video Art on a Silk Thread. This is where fine art and textile art come together. I love both, and so it was actually at some point only a matter of time that I bring here also both together for expression. In this way, so far mainly mandalas, but also smaller images or symbols. Here, for example, I'm working on a flower of life, which you may know. It's an ancient symbol and can be found worldwide in almost all cultures, in Europe as well as in the Orient, and it's part of the so-called sacred geometry. The meanings which are assigned to it would probably go beyond the scope here. Let me state that it's called the harmonious measure of the earth, or also the fundamental form of all existences. And it symbolizes also the cycle of life. I knew it at an early age because my father had introduced it to me. At a time when such things were hardly talked about, he always wore, not visible to anyone, a flower of life pendant at the level of the solar plexus under the shirts of his suits. He said that the flower of life energized and harmonized him at the same time. Anyway, I've always been fascinated by its shape. These many small petals that make small circles merging into each other so as to form one big circle. This flower of life often forms the center in my thread art mandalas. I love to let colorful threads create lines in these paintings, here that I would otherwise do with a brush or pencils. And as I said, sometimes I combine sewing with drawing and painting. Everything is allowed. In the beginning, I poke holes in the outlines and areas with a pin, and then sew directly on the paper along these tiny lines given by the pin. This takes time, of course, and that's the beauty of it for me. Something grows little by little into a big whole, and in this way space is created for ideas. Ideas that I would probably never have thought of otherwise. Like, for example, sewing in sequins or tiny beads. Yes, or buttons and lace. Sometimes I also applique small shapes from cardboard or paper, which I then still outline with fine stitches. And so much is possible. There are no limits to my imagination here. And again, new possibilities arise. But you can really only enjoy it if you enjoy diving deep into what you're doing. Of course, At the beginning, I always have a certain idea about how the picture might look afterwards, and I would like to complete it. But that completely fades into the background the moment I start designing. And then there's only the joy of doing. It's such a meditative action, and from stitch to stitch, I relax more and more. And again pause and look at what has already been created. This, in these moments, so completely purposeless and joyful action, gives me not only mental peace. At the same time, I can perceive my body very well and notice it. For example, whether my hands are relaxed, whether I'm sitting comfortably, whether my belly is relaxed, and whether my breathing can flow gently and unhindered. Sometimes I also listen to music while doing this. Wonderful! What could be more beautiful? There's really nothing missing. Diving into colors and shapes, oh, I love it. Sometimes people ask me if such a thing isn't just too much work, and the expenditure of time would never stand in a good relation to the selling price. I can understand questions of this kind well. While I'm artistically active, I do not ask myself such questions at all. But of course, I also have living expenses. And in the end, such questions concern the topic of art and money in general. I think I could actually make a video about that for you. There's really a lot in it. For me, anyway, a little story of development. But what I can always answer quickly is that I have no choice but to make my art. It's just always been that way. I can't do without it. And I have indeed always found a way to express myself artistically, even in times when money was more than scarce for drawing or painting utensils. I would just paint a small wooden board that could be an old breakfast board or a piece of leather. And why? Because it fulfills me and deeply satisfies me. Yes, that's probably it. Do you know Karl Valentin? The singer, comedian, author and film producer? He was a multi-creator without ceasing. Quite a few quotes from him have survived. One which I love very much is not supposed to be from him at all. There has been quite a bit of controversy about this among experts. I had seen it once under a photo of him. Be it anyway, I find it nevertheless good, whether he should have said it now or not, and therefore I would not like to withhold it from you. Here it is. Art is beautiful, but makes a lot of work. Yes, that's how it is. Maybe this invites us to think about the term work. How this word work is usually occupied, what it means to us, whether we associate it with pleasant or annoying. I actually define art as my work, and it fills me with such great joy that I like to do a lot for it. And of course, I prefer painting and creating to cleaning up or washing out brushes afterwards. But as I said, art is beautiful. For me, that's true. And before I say goodbye to you for today, I have one more quote for you. And that I can definitely confirm. It's from Friedrich Schiller, and he said, "Art is a daughter of freedom." I think so too. If you followed me this far, I am glad you have. And maybe we will meet again soon, here on the small planet, which can be then always, in these moments, your small planet. Take care, and as I said, maybe already on soon.